Hey Benjamin, how are you?
Hello, Taylor.
Welcome, man. Welcome back to
Testing,
this
testing.
podcast.
All right.
Yeah.
Are we ready to go?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So how have you been, man?
I've been all right, man. You?
Very good. Very good.
Good stuff.
I'm very happy to talk about to have you here for
Thanks, man.
first of all, and most to listen to what you have to tell us about. I think today we are going to talk about a very, 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 very important topic, which is mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's something everybody in our community should talk a little bit more about.
100%.
Make a little bit more echo about this,
Yeah.
Break some kind of expectations and false expectations and biases and whatever is in between, kind of men's mental health.
Men's mental health, something I have many years of experience with.
Yeah. So to tell us how let's start with how have you been doing these days?
It's always a daily challenge.
Yeah.
Everything in life these days seems to be a daily challenge, but I feel like I've got reasonably good coping mechanisms in place. I'll give you a brief history.
Yeah.
At 19, I had some effectively clinical depression, which I couldn't figure out why. I had nothing in my life that was actually leading me to be depressed. There was nothing that I could figure out that was causing it.
Yeah.
But there was this feeling of worthlessness, a feeling of despair, a feeling of just emptiness.
Sure.
And I couldn't figure out any way of controlling it. And that led me to 6 years of antidepressants, SSRI medication, which gave worse side effects than it fixed. And ultimately, I found that there were a handful of coping mechanisms that worked, which were creativity that I have. I enjoy painting. I enjoy making music.
Yeah.
Exercise and diet.
Yeah.
As soon as I started to eat healthier, exercise very regularly, that was actually the biggest improvement I saw of all was from exercise.
Yeah.
But then we fast forward to 2022, and I've had a life-changing situation.
The pandemic was kind of...
Pandemic, for most people, I think, is going to be a major negative impact, whether it's to do with their lives changing as a result of their jobs being unsafe. In some countries, England, for example, the lockdown measures that were there kept everybody inside, which meant no social interaction with anybody face-to-face.
Were you in Norway?
No, I was here in Norway.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, I didn't actually have any real issues with my mental health.
Really?
It was, that time it was sort of okay. Yeah. But at the same time, I was working as a diver.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of people that couldn't make it into the country to work. So our workload actually went up.
By the way, Benjamin, it's a musician, a sound engineer, and an artist. Benjamin is the one that painted those amazing pieces.
My handiwork, yes.
Yeah. So it's a pretty much kind of a man of many skills. So and also a diver. So that's pretty amazing. And also train a little bit of jiu-jitsu with me back in the days.
Back in the days.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that doesn't happen for me anymore.
No, man. But it's possible to teach you some tricks there.
Yes.
It's always possible.
Well, I think the lessons that you learn from jiu-jitsu, discipline, planning, forward focus.
I think jiu-jitsu is kind of very helpful, when I have a theory about this. Kind of every man end up in jiu-jitsu at some point and stay there because of a need, we have a need of an emptiness inside that it will be filled up with jiu-jitsu, kind of.
The same could be said for many different things. So for me, obviously, my calling was artistically driven, music, painting, things like that. Some people don't have that in their lives, and don't have exercise, don't have sport in their lives, and then develop problems with substance abuse or alcohol dependency.
Sure.
So I guess that can translate into a multitude of different scenarios. But the question is, which of those scenarios are the positive ones?
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
training, running, exercising, weightlifting, painting.
You have to see what fits you,
Intellectual stimulation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the slippery slope is if you're somebody that's inclined to drink a lot, then you could end up having problems through that. And that could be
them worse.
Yes. So the trick is to find the positive experiences in life that actually aid.
When if we can ask Benjamin, when was the kind of in your adulthood, when was the kind of the worst you were,
Mentally?
Yeah, kind of after pandemic, at which point?
It was after the pandemic, for sure. It would have been around about 2021. Yeah. I had a very big depressive episode.
Yeah.
And it was actually after a friend's 40th birthday party.
Okay.
I'd gone to a friend's birthday party. I'd had quite a bit to drink. My wife and I ended up coming home, both of us quite worse for wear, shall we say. Yeah. And we ended up in a bit of an argument. And that sent me onto a very big negative downward spiral mentally.
Yeah.
Again, coming back to the years previously, in my 20s, I was given all sorts of SSRI medication to deal with it, none of which worked, all of which gave me bigger side effect problems that fed worse into the depression rather than fixing it.
Yeah.
But in my late 20s, I started to seek psychiatric counseling.
Sure.
And I found that was a big help for me because I had the ability then to outlet my expressions, my feelings, my frustrations, the negative outlook that I had on life. And more than anything, just having somebody be able to actually listen to you impartially and just give me an outlet to vent the frustrations meant that I ultimately was able to see some of the solutions of my own accord, rather than being told this is what you need to do to fix it. It was more of a self-help solution, but it was using somebody else to get to that point.
At the moment you were did you realize there are signs or kind of patterns when you are getting worse and worse?
Definitely.
In a depression,
Yeah, very much. I mean, the biggest, the first sign that for me at least, that something is wrong is I will distance myself from other people socially.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around people. I don't want to go out. I don't want to be around a friend's house. I don't want to hang out with the people that I love. I just become very isolated.
But isn't it a kind of? It's just a question, because to try to put things in perspective to the audience, and isn't it at the same time that while you are trying to isolate yourself, at the same time do you have this need of somebody else to talk to? You know what I mean, like some help, somebody to listen or something like that. How?
Well, for me,
how did you experience this?
I mean, I'm a very sociable person to begin with.
Yeah, sure.
I enjoy others' company. In fact, certainly in my late 20s, I couldn't be alone. I hated being on my own. So when I see myself not engaging with other people, not wanting to be around other people, then that is usually the first sign that there's something not right.
Something is not.
But the problem is, if I don't address it at that point, then often that feeling of isolation and feeling of self-imposed isolation will just get worse, and the feelings of hopelessness and lack of joy, lack of happiness, everything that surrounds the depressive episode just simply gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
And if it's not addressed quickly, then it can snowball very quickly out of control to a point where I'm just extraordinarily negative. And that's not a place that's true. Is good to be in.
That's true. How did you like kind of experience the system. You know, what do you think about the system and these health challenges? Like, is it a good coverage? You know what I mean? Is it a good mental health?
I think there are elements to it that are good. I think there are elements that could be improved. The problem is, financially speaking, great solutions often occur at a cost. So, for example, psychology occurs at a cost. If you go privately, then the patient has to pay. If you qualify for help that isn't that is state driven, obviously that's going to cost money to the state.
And it kind of doesn't make any sense because if you are depressed, there are actually statistics. You know, one of the reasons that kind of can put some man or women in depression state, you know, it's kind of losing job, for example, health, physical health problems, you know.
Well, all of this applies to me.
Yeah, but I read about this, you know, after we talk about what is going on with you. So I found a lot of information about that, and they said, you know, and so if you can't work because you have some physical problems, and then you have to pay, you know, you stop getting the normal income, you know, and then you have to pay to get the right treatment, you know, and then.
Well, so let me just
kind of how do you manage? You know, how can you get better in this situation? I don't.
So I'd like to just elaborate on that a little bit. Everything you just said applies to me in many respects. Yeah. So I used to work as a diver.
Yeah.
In 2022, I was in a work accident and I've injured my back, and I've spent the last 3 years trying to recover from it. I'm still not really. I'm nowhere closer to getting back to my job. In fact, I've lost my dive medic, so I can't return to diving. So that's a major life change right there.
A big one, yeah.
In addition to that, I've had a fight with an insurance company over it because it was an injury sustained at work. The challenge is that well, the problem I've got is that I do have a degenerative problem with my back, and I'm 46 years old now. So it's bad timing. Difficult to prove that the injury was the sole responsible thing for my current health predicament. But of course, losing your job, then it results in a reduced pay, a change in lifestyle situation, a change in your ability to provide for your family. So then, of course, that negatively impacts your worth, your feeling of worth. And also, not only that, it's negatively impacted my ability to paint, to write music. I can't sit and play guitar for 3 or 4 hours. It's just not physically possible. 40 minutes maybe. And with painting, it's about the same, about an hour maybe at the most, if I'm very lucky.
Sure.
And, you know, you can see me moving around in my seat because I can't sit for long periods.
Wow.
And so constant pain also feeds into the negativity, the spiral, the feeling of uselessness. My life has no worth. And the irony of that is that through things like painting and music, that's the thing that gave me purpose, at least in my 20s, throughout my 30s as well. Having a creative outlet was always a very good way of being able to balance out the feeling of negativity by having something positive come out of it.
Because it's painting and music, it's a kind of relieving activities.
100%.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
You know, it's kind of you can scream by painting, if you know what I mean.
You can express yourself. Anger, frustration. You can get it out.
This is what I mean. Yes.
And it's the same with jiu-jitsu.
Somehow. You cannot.
It's like you're having
the soul out of them.
A bad day, and you just find that extra bit of energy.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, man.
So my exercise regime before I was training jiu-jitsu with you. I mean, it's 8 years ago since we were last rolling.
That's crazy, man. I don't believe that.
I know, 2017. I remember it well because I fractured my ankle, and that was the reason why I had to stop.
I remember I was frustrated, man. I said, I think Dejan told me, I can't remember, but I thought, how did it happen?
Yeah.
On training? no, and then you told me maybe that no, it was just walking.
No, it was. I was actually working at the hotel in town
Yeah,
at the
man,
time, and
that was shit.
it had been raining, and I slipped
Yeah,
and twisted my ankle, and that
oh,
was that. But with hindsight, we understand, I think, possibly the reason why it took so long to heal, because
yeah,
it took about 9 months before I could.
really?
Yeah, it took a long time.
What?
But in the interim, after having the back injury,
Yeah.
it's led me down a path of finding out the reasons behind it. And I have osteoporosis,
Yeah,
which is a weakening of the bones.
yeah,
And of course, then 8 years ago, when I fractured my ankle, 2017,
yeah,
the reason why it took so long to heal probably is because of my body's inability to rebuild bone structure.
yeah,
Um, so, like I said, we were talking about how having that drive and purpose in your life, like, so for example, jiu-jitsu is a great way of doing it. Art for me was a great one, but exercise has always been this amazing. It gives this amazing ability to just release frustrations.
yes,
So
yes,
jiu-jitsu for you is one way. A lot of people get it from going to the gym
yes.
and pushing weights. I did as well, but my biggest one was running.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I used to love running.
Nice. I
I'd
can't run now.
I would
No.
no, I haven't literally have not been able to run for 3 years now.
Oh man. Yeah.
It's just
Not being able
not
to do
possible.
what you love, it's a nightmare.
It is, and so you know, like I say, it all feeds into negativity in the mental health department.
Yeah.
But at the same time, new life challenges, I guess, present themselves as you go through life.
Yeah.
And the key is to try and figure out how to overcome them each time they
Yes.
arise.
Yes.
And so when I say mental health, for me, for many people, is a work in progress, constant work in progress. That I think is always going to be the case for somebody who suffers from depression, from anxiety, from, unless it's a major psychological issue, like, for example, schizoaffective disorder, bipolar disorder, bigger mental health challenges than just depression. Everybody that faces a mental health challenge is going to have those days where they have to figure out, how do I get to the end of the day and still be breathing? How do I get to the end of the day and feel like I'm not worthless? How do I get to the end of the day and still have a drive to get up tomorrow and do something again?
So Benjamin, going a little bit back on this matter. So would you say, there is still much to do in the public health service in Norway, in Haugesund, about mental health?
That's a difficult question, really, because I don't know enough of the health system and the way they operate to really make a valid.
But because what I
argument.
can say, it's that you are not the only one going through something like this in Haugesund. Like being in a kind of limbo, where nobody can take responsibility for what is going on for you, than you, you know what I mean? So this kind of not now, not the company, not the health system has not. I think they have developed now, some kind of different kind of offices, and you can call and take contact if you are going through something like this. But
I think that my experience of the Norwegian health system, having gone through the UK health system, by and large, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
In terms of the treatment protocol, the way that they approach it. The unfortunate thing is that many countries, whether it be Norway, whether it be England, the United States, usually the very first thing that they'll do is prescribe you medication to combat it. Now, my understanding is that that's probably, from a cost-benefit perspective, the most logical choice, because it's cheaper for them to prescribe some tablets and see if they do the job, rather than making an appointment to see a psychologist so that they can discuss the issues and see if they can find a way of doing it without some kind of medical intervention.
You know what I think, man. You know what I think, and this is gonna make you think, maybe. I think what is missing in Norway, especially Haugesund, is kind of work across different agencies to provide mental health services.
And support, yeah.
Kind of, let's say, most of these people, you know what I'm talking about, can't work because health problems, and they have to pay for the bills for going to the psychologist, and because they have no money, they stop going. What then? You know what I mean?
Mm.
So these kind of situations should be financed by somebody.
Yeah, yes.
You know,
Sponsored,
and,
effectively.
sponsor somebody that the people has not to work. When you are going through something like this, the last thing you have to worry is about money. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
you,
I mean that's
you have to have access to what you need to go back to life.
so. This is where I would argue that Norway do have an advantage over many other countries.
100%.
Insofar as,
Yeah.
had I been working in the UK as a diver and the same accident happened and my same situation had appeared right now,
Yeah.
I would not be. I would be entitled to some support, but it would not be enough to continue to pay my mortgage. It just wouldn't cover me.
And what you say, it's kind of okay. This is 100% true, and we are lucky. But at the point we are in the place we live, we have to be able to see kind of the holes,
The whole picture.
and the holes that the system is not being able to kind of provide of some other service that it would make a more efficient health.
So on the one
service.
hand, it's very easy to feel cheated, and because my salary now is not what the salary I was accustomed to was. It's significantly different. So now, rather than having disposable income that I can go on holiday, I can treat my wife to a meal out, all that stuff's out the window. It's trying to get from 1-2 week period to the next. But the system is such that it means that I do still have my house.
100%.
I have financial support while I try to figure out how to fix the situation or improve the situation further. So it's very easy to be disappointed with my predicament.
And don't misunderstand me. I'm not complaining. I'm just, we work in this in the community, in this organization. I work, but in many other areas are small topics, and subtopics where you see the system can still improve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now men's mental health, is the thing.
So just to go slightly back to what we were talking about earlier on in terms of the treatment protocol that's in place, it makes sense that the first thing that doctors will usually do is prescribe medication to try and deal with it because of the financial impact on the system itself. And when we talk about social media, I don't know, I have no statistics, so I have no fact I can back it up with, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit if we see a general rise in mental health issues. It certainly feels that we've seen a rise in mental health issues over the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But with the rise of social media, that, and especially with kids, sort of 16, 17, 18-year-olds, even younger than that in terms of younger girls, the impact of social media is going to negatively feed into the mental health of those kids. I already feel it with myself. If I spend too long scrolling on my screen,
it's crazy because you can't test yourself. Yes, no, don't do that. But listen, I know what you mean. When you find yourself suddenly, just scrolling and watching videos, and those videos have some emotional impact on you, then immediately they have had access to your emotional, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and also
so you will be you are affected by what you're watching.
Absolutely, and
imagine
also
somebody that is not 100% developed.
Yeah, and the way that the algorithms for most social media platforms are set up is to actually provide you with rage bait that is just going to get you angry, because it means you engage with it. You start writing something because you don't agree with somebody's opinion, and then it ends up becoming a fight.
Yeah.
And the reality is it's probably some some bot farm
Yeah, yeah.
in another country that's purposefully enraging us,
Yeah,
and it's all
whatever.
feeding into negative health
Yeah.
spirals.
We have yeah, that's funny.
So it's very. So for me personally, I try to keep myself off social media wherever I
Yeah,
can.
man,
And
that's a smart decision.
Yeah.
You know, that's a smart. And I really am. I'm really at the point where I'm. Uh, maybe at some point I'm gonna get out.
There are
it.
benefits. It does connect us. My family live in Ireland. Most of my immediate family, my mum, my dad, my sister, and her family. So I don't get to see them anywhere near as often as I'd like. One, I can't travel frequently because of my condition. It's too painful to sit. But also, it doesn't mean I love them any less or want to be around them any less. But social media has allowed us to be
Yeah.
able to stay in touch with those that we love the
Yeah.
most, even if they're the other side of the world.
It was kind of the same for me. I moved to Norway.
Mm.
It's the only one from my family, the one person from my family that moved here. So for me, it was kind of social media, Facebook. The way to have my to show or to have my family watching how I was. Building up a family.
Yeah, if we didn't have it, we'd be out the loop.
My kids. Yeah. It's kind of we dead.
Mm.
We don't see each other anymore, but they can see through social media they are growing up,
Mhm.
and we can call But once my mother passed away, so I really wanted to delete everything.
Mhm.
I still have family, so I kind of when things calm down, so I decide to keep them. But now I'm.
Well, the funny part is that I feel myself when I've been on social media too much, and if I spend too much time on it, if I'm being fed the things that are just actively enraging me or making me feel just negatively feeding into to my emotional state.
But
I can see a correlation between spending too much time on social media.
You are unlocking some feelings now, man. Yeah,
100%.
You're making me think about
that.
Right
And again, it's that thing of what are the best solutions for it? Well, you park your phone for one, put it away, don't go on it.
Yeah.
It's as much as it is an addiction. And,
it is.
I see my daughter, who's actually relatively good at keeping herself. She doesn't have Facebook. She has Snapchat and chats to her friends. But for the most part, she's not really very active on social media. But she does have an addictive element to the phone in the same way every other child has the same thing with their iPad or their phones. And I think it's educating kids to try to understand that they should limit the time that they spend on it and make it quality time rather than endlessly scrolling.
That's true. I agree, and I try to do that with my kids. About gaming, for example. My kids play, but and it was me. I was the one that introduced them because I didn't want them to get into without my guidance.
Mm-hmm.
They will play.
Yeah.
At some point, I'll not have control. They will visit friends so I decide to teach them what is what and which kind of game and why they shouldn't play that and what times. And then I put some kind of we have a routine. If they want to play 30 minutes, they have to read some many. I learned that from somebody, so they have to read something so many minutes. So as much as they play more, they read more.
Yeah.
I like that, and it works. They watch me like this, but at the end they say, that was cool, So, man,
I do remember Joe Rogan had a guest on his podcast once, and I forget who it is or where the quote came from, but there was a great quote that was, "We've overprotected our kids in the real world and underprotected them online," and I think there's an element of truth in that as well because, the interactions that we have on social media now do tend to majoritively be with people we don't even know.
Yeah, man. There is a topic, I don't want to talk about it right now, but it's about how dangerous can be this game Minecraft and Roblox and all these kind of games, because and the thing is something I heard from the podcast Show Ryan podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hacker that
I think I saw it.
yeah.
I saw a few clips from it at least.
And this guy is
Roblox and specifically, wasn't it?
This guy is especially Roblox. The thing is that they discovered that some people was using Roblox to grooming. It calls grooming. Kids and this is something man can expect from a sick society, and there is people that do this. But wait a second, the worst thing is when people expect that Roblox is going to take the right kind of measures to fix this, like the right actions.
Yep.
They didn't, and they actually protect
the predators.
What?
Yeah.
The day I heard that, I said, no Roblox.
Yeah, so I haven't gone that far with my daughter.
But it's not easy. And I had to explain why.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
I said to my wife, how do you explain this,
Well, that also then feeds into mental health, because the people that are doing this have clear mental health issues. But are the kind of people that don't recognize that, or they don't have any path to resolve it, and the kind of mental health issues that they have if they're grooming children are severe and need help.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, how do we allow children to be able to continue playing games they want to play without fear?
It's not easy, man.
But
one thing is important. It's at least the least thing you can do is be there.
Yeah.
Like a kind of, you just don't give just a PC and just go do your thing, because then things will happen. But you okay, what are you doing? Can I play with you? Can I sit with you?
Mm-hmm.
So, be there with them. You know what I mean? So it will be harder to and talk to them. This communication is the most important weapon against these threats. But Benjamin, I'm thinking. We talk about all of this and. You start now as a voluntary helping youth to kind of develop their interest in music in for Haugesund, the organization we work, and in Haugesund. And I'm wondering how is if this activity has an impact in your situation. How do you feel, and your how do you expect it's gonna be next year? You know what I mean? This role as a mentor for youth.
Obviously, I'm not sure whether the people that view your podcast are aware of what the situation is, but you and I we've known each other for 10 years since jiu-jitsu days.
Yeah. But you're explaining already what you're going through. I think they.
So with Verandingshus, they obviously your goal is to mentor kids, to give them some kind of purpose, to give them some direction in life. And I remember the first time I came in to have a chat with you about the possibilities, because you wanted to set up a recording studio and have somebody that understands music and production of music to be able to impart knowledge onto them and give them some kind of guidance so they can follow their own path and their own creative paths.
Yeah.
And when I came in and I saw what you were doing and how you were building it up, and the kind of kids that you have that all show a passionate interest for it, it reminded me a lot of myself at their age, or even a little younger, when I was getting into music. And music for me is certainly an art, but in particular music gave me an outlet that I otherwise wouldn't have. And when at a 16-year-old, 15-year-old kid that doesn't understand life, I could have so easily gone off and on the wrong path. But I ended up at a music school, and it's kind of I ended up meeting a lot of other like-minded kids, forging a lot of relationships that I still have to this day as a result of that. And I can't understate the importance of becoming ingrained into a musical culture has been for my life long term. And I look at a lot of the kids that you've got, and I just see a similarity. I'm 35 years further down the line, I guess.
That's amazing.
And so I was very keen to at least try to help. And also because of my situation, my back is not good. I can have a day like today where it's okay, or I could have a day where I can't physically do anything. So it puts me in a very awkward situation. But at least with this, it gives me an opportunity to try something, just to see how could I get into some kind of work scenario. How many hours a week realistically is it that I could actually do it before I had too many problems?
Absolutely.
So it's a great opportunity for me to test the water there, but also the fact that it's mentoring kids and I'm able to give them some kind of knowledge and guidance, advice.
That would be amazing. I can't wait to see what can we create here. Depression is kind of a big hole, and black. You don't see anything dark. And, to get out of there it seems almost impossible, right?
Yeah.
And it's scary. It's kind of, it feels like a permanent fright.
Yeah.
Right. Like be scared the whole time and angry.
And especially if you feel that you aren't heard or listened to, or that you're alone.
Yeah, those are That's
the thing.
That's the
you're
thing.
not alone.
But you're alone. This is where I'm going. But we all have kind of a rope that is there to climb. This rope is different for each one of us. For me, it was my family. My kids. My kids. That rope represent my kids, and those kind of made me climb. Gave me a strength to take decisions. I took decisions, and got out from there, ask for help. But the most important thing is what you did. Came here to me, and what was your rope?
I mean, my kids, my child. I've got one daughter, my wife as well. Your immediate family will always be the most important thing in your life. And there are always going to be times where that is challenging, because it is. You have disagreements occasionally with your wife, or you have... my daughter is now 13 years old. She's very much a teenager, and so it is difficult.
I know what you mean.
And she sometimes forgets that I was once 13 and I remember exactly how it was. And with hindsight, I wouldn't behave like I used to at that age.
To be honest, it hurts because sometimes they also forget that we have feelings,
Yeah.
And we are like a little animals, very, very, very simple. You just do like this, and we are happy.
But in terms of depression and the impact, I mean, obviously, family and the support from your families. If you have a good support network with your family, then you should use that first and foremost.
Yes.
The flip side is it's a challenge to not burden your family with all of your problems, and so that's the tightrope that I walk.
That's very interesting.
Especially when I consider
it hurts. That hurts.
It does. I mean, my situation obviously is not what it was 3.5 years ago. Which meant my wife has taken on an awful lot more responsibility in terms of like this financial responsibility that she's having to burden a little bit. Things like I can't mow the lawn anymore. I can't physically do it without the pain response. So my wife has had to do things like that. Same with the vacuuming, same with changing the beds. There's all sorts of things there that suddenly are on her shoulders that she doesn't deserve to have to take on that, but she does.
Just wait a little bit because I remember, just about this, like a little parenthesis. Remember we helped you with the piano?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
I always remember that, man. But listen, if anytime you need help to something, your wife can't do or whatever, call me. I'm still strong.
And this is
So I can help.
that's
Okay?
the biggest. I mean, that's the thing. It was reaching out for people where
Yeah.
if you need physical assistance with something,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to ask.
No, please, man. I will help. Very happy. Very happy
That's
to help.
much appreciated.
Yeah. I come with el diablo de Nicaragua. Kino.
Kino. So, but at the same time, that support, the support you have from your family as well. Like I say, the reason why I can't just burden with my family or my friends with my problems, they do support me. They are a rock to me.
Nice to hear, man.
But the amount that they are able to support me is that they're at their maximum already. And if that isn't enough, I'm not saying that it means they don't love me, that they don't care for me in the same way that I do for them. That's not true. It's just simply that there's a capacity level that somebody has before it becomes too much for them to burden.
Yes.
And that's where mental health guidance comes into play. For me, the medication for it just wasn't the solution for me. Some people, I guess, maybe it can be, and some people find benefit from the medication. They're on it for a while, and things balance themselves out, and is okay thereafter. In my case, that isn't the case, and especially now, where most of my issues with depression are a direct result of situational factors that are out of my control. So I can't control the fact that I'm in pain all the time. I can't control the fact that I can't do my job. That's out of my control.
Yeah.
But what I can control is how I approach the recovery process mentally of making sure that I can navigate these situations in spite of the fact that I do feel frustration and I do feel anger and resentment to the situation.
And this part, this is what I mean when I talk about expectations, We men are also allowed to say, man, I can't do this anymore, you know?
There is a preconceived notion that we as men are the providers for our family, that we have to go out to work, that we do all the physical jobs that are required with us. If we need the tire changing, we're the ones that are going to jack up the car and change the wheel. But then if suddenly, you're like my situation, for example, you physically can't do something, then it does have a negative impact, because you think, it's me, I'm the man, I should be doing this. And you could argue that this is an old way of thinking, but it is inherently part of our male masculinity in terms of our.
But I think masculinity, it's still being built up. You know what I mean? We have we just learn it, how the old ones practice it. You know what I mean?
Well, we actually talked about masculinity a while ago, and so we shouldn't be ashamed of masculinity.
Yeah. No. Yes.
As a man, we shouldn't be ashamed that there is a degree of masculinity. And of course, that's the thing that allows us to strive for excellence. If you're an athlete, if you want to be the best football player, if you want to be the best rugby player, there's a degree of alpha male mentality that does go behind it. And this is the other thing. We have, there are degrees of toxic masculinity. So we see all the whole Andrew Tate phenomenon. It's taking masculinity to such an extent where a lot of the people that I think have bought into his narrative. There's probably elements of things that he said that are actually factually accurate. It's just that it's wrapped up in quite a misogynistic little package.
Yeah, and the way he presented them.
And it's not a way that I would want to present myself as a man. To me, being a man isn't showing women how.
Yeah, we are parents of young ladies.
And I think the issue is when you're dealing with figureheads that promote toxic masculinity. It means that people that are the younger generation of males who are already going through some kind of degree of psychological challenges, that don't know where they belong, they don't have a peer group that they fit in. For me, it was music, it was art, it was other people that liked those same things. But if you find somebody that doesn't have that escapism or that feeling of belonging, tribal belonging, they're going to look for it somewhere. And if they gravitate to somebody like Andrew Tate, then they could easily buy into that sort of view that this is how a man should behave, this is how a man should treat women. And that's not right.
Not healthy.
And then does that really feed into a positive mental health outlook for that person?
Exactly.
Not at all.
exactly. That's why it's very important. I think it's very interesting to listen to these things you're mentioning right now. What about what would you like to recommend to somebody, especially today? We see there is research in Haugesund about after the pandemic, more youth
Mhm.
are experiencing depression symptoms, but at the early age. So
Mhm.
what would you like to, if you have to recommend, what would you like to say to them?
Number one, I'd think the best thing they could do would be to find a pursuit that gives them a degree of happiness, a feeling of belonging,
Yeah.
but something that is net positive. So if they're a creative person, find something that they creatively latch onto, that they A, enjoy,
Yeah.
B, see a result at the end of an endeavor that they're working on. If they're into sports, again, same kind of thing. Find a football club to join. Find a jiu-jitsu studio
for example.
to train at. Go and find a gym to work out. You will find people that are interested in those similar things.
Yeah.
If you have a cerebral mindset where you like chess or you like to read, join a book club, join a chess club.
Yeah.
Find the people that have similar interests to you.
Very interesting. Very nice.
And socialize with them.
Amazing tips.
Being around and face-to-face socialization, not being on your screen communicating. Don't get me wrong. The internet is great insofar as I have friends that I've never actually physically met in my life, face to face.
Wow.
I have friends that I've met through Discord servers because we share common interests.
Yeah, nice.
And just over time, those relationships have developed.
That's kind of the positive side of
so there are,
yeah.
So the internet isn't just all totally negative.
I don't.
But I would argue it's
like
80% negative and 20% positive in terms of social media and the application of social media within our social spheres. But if you are only locking yourself in your room and spending your time on a screen, we're losing that face-to-face interaction.
Yeah.
So, for example, video games. Do you remember when we were younger? And hey, do you want to come and play video games? Yeah, great. Okay, so two of you would sit side by side playing Nintendo with a split screen, GoldenEye or something like that.
Yeah.
And then nowadays it's like, hey man, do you want to go and play some video games? Yeah, sure. I'll see you later. I'll go home and log on. And then you're not together anymore.
But for example, I changed my mind about this because now they do that, but they still see each other by the camera, and they kind of have the same thing, but they are just not sitting.
It's just different. I get it.
But it works.
I'm not saying it's a totally bad thing, but I feel that if we're only communicating through a screen, then we're losing what it is to be, we're losing what it is to actually have a relationship with somebody. And so, for example, podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Yeah. And the reason for it is because you're listening to two people having an honest conversation one-on-one towards each other. Yeah. That somebody asks a question, they're feeding back. Oh, that leads to this. Okay, this is how conversation works. Yeah. And conversation is, it's natural. It should come naturally to us. It's not typing out a message. Yeah, for sure. 10 minutes later getting a rage bait answer, and then 10 minutes later you typing back how annoyed you are at that person for saying something they've said. It's like we all have different opinions on a multitude of different topics. Mankind is never going to see eye to eye, whether it's, religious differences, different social differences in terms of our opinion on how politics should be governing themselves. For example, we will have a divide always. It's just we need to accept that those differing opinions are there and be able to find a common ground where we can actually all exist together instead of being divided and just frustrated and angry with each other all the time, which is unfortunate what social media seems to do, and that negatively impacts mental health.
What else could you say? Kind of some other tips to those youth, not just youth, adults that are going through some kind of depression episodes in their lives.
Well, the first thing, don't bottle it up. My biggest problem when I was younger was that I knew that there was something not right.
Yeah.
That was the only way I could describe it. Something
Yeah.
isn't right, and I can't figure out what it is. I don't feel anything good. I didn't have empathy for other people. I didn't feel happiness. I didn't feel joy. The things that I loved doing didn't bring the joy that they once did. And it was getting worse, and I didn't do anything about it. I didn't speak to anybody about it. I thought it was me. Oh, there's something. It's just my head. It's just me. Something's not right. But I didn't seek help. I didn't speak to anybody about it. I just let it fester. And unfortunately, when it does that, those feelings just get built upon. And the foundational feeling of hopelessness, the black hole feeling that you have, it just, exactly. It just grows and grows and grows until it gets to a point where it's unmanageable and you cannot sustain that. Yeah. And something's going to snap.
Oh, man.
The key is, if you feel that, then don't be afraid to reach out to a friend.
Don't be afraid.
Or a family.
Yeah.
Because if you know that, if you can feel in yourself that something isn't right, talking about it is number one. Number one.
Talk to somebody.
And don't be afraid.
Number two. Number one was, don't be afraid. Talk to somebody.
Number two, lean into a passion.
Yeah.
But lean into a passion.
That was number one. You said that before.
Okay, so the number one is lean into... Well, I'll swap them around then. Okay. We'll swap them around. So number one is that you're going to know yourself if something isn't right. Talk to somebody about it. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, at the point where you're realizing that, find a passion that you know is constructive. And like I said, that passion can be anything, but the key is it has to be a constructive passion. Don't just start turning to alcohol. Don't just start just drinking yourself into oblivion.
Yeah.
I've been there. I know how that doesn't solve anything. As much as it allows you to forget something for the evening because you go, oh, I can't be bothered. I just have, just keep drinking a glass of wine. Have another one. And then before you know it, you're drunk. The next day you wake up, you feel like shit.
Yeah.
And it's what has come out of that that's positive and productive? Nothing.
Yeah.
But turning to artwork, turning to music, going for a run, working out in the gym, all these things have a net positive benefit that you can see results over time. If you're painting over the course of several weeks, you might have a painting together. If you like writing poetry or songs, over those same weeks, you'll see something come together that's tangible. Yeah. If you're working out and or your goal is if you don't feel good about yourself because you're carrying a bit of excess weight, or you don't feel physically strong, or you don't have like a muscle structure that makes you feel good about yourself, go into the gym. Over time, you are going to see a net positive change.
I do that. I train, and do that. I train. I have a rule, It doesn't matter how sad I am, how angry I am, how happy I am, how tired I am. I just have to go to training and lift.
Yeah, I used to have the same thing.
So I have to be there today. So, for example, I couldn't. I was very demotivated, tired, and I just went there and started lifting like it was the last day, and I trained even harder. And then something happened, and I felt very good, and I was happy because I was coming here to meet you, man. But any last tip you think about? I have a couple of things I could say. Maybe that can summarize what we've been talking about.
Yeah, don't go on ChatGPT and get them to be your shrink.
What's that?
I've not heard stories of ChatGPT, people going on there and I feel suicidal and I'm wanting to end it and I don't know how to do, and I don't know if it's ChatGPT or if it's Anthropic's Claude, I can't remember. But one of the large language models actually then sort of effectively talked a person that was actively asking it, or I think the scenario was something along the lines of the person was very depressed and was having suicidal ideation.
Yeah.
And they asked one of the large language models, I think it was ChatGPT, asked ChatGPT, we'll call it ChatGPT now, because if that's, just assume it's that. They asked, how do I want to commit suicide. I don't know, I think I might tie the rope in my room so that it can be found and so people know that I won't do it, but I want someone to find it. Now, this person was effectively calling for help.
Yeah.
And ChatGPT, its response was, don't do that. Keep it between us. I'm the only one that knows.
Oh my God, that's
And
crazy.
yeah, and then this person committed suicide.
Oh,
And it was
man.
through them finding the logs of the conversation and interaction with ChatGPT that they found that ChatGPT had actually suppressed that person's cry for help that could have potentially saved them.
Yeah.
So
That's scary.
yeah, as far as I'm
That's
concerned, if
scary
you're
as,
having enough of an issue
I've-
to want to reach out, don't reach out to an AI to get it to give you the advice that you want. Reach out to a person, because a person understands what it is to be a human being that's alive, that's breathing, that feels.
100%, man. No doubt about that.
Mhm.
Man, very nice you came today. I think we could just keep talking hours.
This an easy topic to go down a rabbit hole on.
Yeah. But just a last message to everybody that is listening to us, guys. You guys that are going through some very hard time, don't be afraid to ask for help. Talk to somebody. And if you are here in the Haugesund area and you want to talk to somebody, reach us. We will be very happy to receive you and talk, and the doors are open, And to you people, have an eye open. Try to see the signs on people Sometimes depression appears as a very happy man, or as a band, in people, very talkative people. So please, just try to talk to somebody. Sometimes people send messages saying, "Hey, what's up? How are you doing?"
Mm.
And that message can be a
Well,
way
it's
to say somebody. I don't know. So come on, people, just have an eye open. Check out on your friends, and
it's like, do you remember Chester Bennington from Linkin Park?
yeah.
He's tragically committed suicide again, 2017, I think it was. And there was a lyric in one of their songs, "One More Light," I think it was called, and it was
Okay.
the lyric was, "Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there." And then the tragedy of it is that some months after that album came, or not even a few months after that album came out,
Yeah.
he'd committed suicide.
Yeah.
And so you don't know whether or not there was a thinly veiled cry for help in that lyric, or whether it was just an interpretation of it post-suicide. But the point is that you can be even a successful person, seemingly successful, seemingly happy,
Yeah.
and
See,
you never know.
it's everywhere. So just let's keep an eye on everybody. Okay, people. Okay,
Yeah.
man. Man, thank you for coming today, Benjamin.
No worries, man.
Very nice.
Always a pleasure.
Amazing.
All right, bro.